because we're not dumb.
I'm not sure the National Security Advisor, Walls, even knows Goldberg. In fact, I don't believe he knows him and has never met him. I did learn a few things in some of my conversations, if you're interested. One is that the Signal program was preloaded on a number of devices and agency computers in this circuit when they got there. So in their view, it was already in use. There is a dispute over whether the term war plans is being exaggerated.
People can go to jail for something like this.
So the very people that covered up their president's severe cognitive decline lied about wide open borders, both of which are clear and present dangers to our country, now want you to believe that they actually give a damn and care about national security. More feigned, phony outrage.
Publish the text.
No, because they're wrong.
Stop pretending.
Guys, these radical leftists are so freaking desperate. They are hungry. They are starving. Okay, they need some milk because they have just been so obsessed with hoping and praying. They literally get on their hands and knees every day like, please, God, please let Trump mess something up. Please, I'm tired of just losing all the time and Trump just winning. I'm tired of it. And they finally got a little bit of something, you know, a little bit of nourishment, because Mike Walls did make a mistake here, adding this Trump deranged leftist Jeff Goldberg to this Signal thread. Now, Signal is an encrypted app. For those of you guys who don't know, the government has been using this since its inception. It came out in 2014. They've been using it for roughly about a decade, and the government uses it. Lots of organizations use it. I use it. It encrypts messages, so you cannot read them. A lot of apps, you can read stuff that's being sent over the line. With Signal, you cannot. So for the most part, it's a secure app, so long as no one is added to your thread, which obviously Jeff Goldberg was. So there was a mistake made there. That's something to admit. However, the people and the audacity that people have to try to compare this to Hillary Clinton's email, saying, I don't want to hear nothing about Hillary Clinton's email. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Hillary Clinton deliberately set up a private email server, unencrypted, no protections, whereas Mike Waltz accidentally, presuming that this was an accident, added Jeff Goldberg. How the hell are you going to compare something where you intentionally go against policy? Imagine if you accidentally do anything. You could say, well, yeah, you still did it. But this is like the equivalent of comparing first degree murder to like involuntary manslaughter. They're like miles away in terms of difference. Like you accidentally get in a car accident and kill somebody, involuntary manslaughter, versus you intentionally like take and run somebody over. That's basically what they're trying to do here. Not to mention Hillary Clinton deliberately deleted evidence, smashed things with hammers, all kinds of stuff happened with Hillary. She lied and got caught. I mean, there's so much stuff that happened, but the Democrats ignored it. Now all of a sudden they want to pretend as though, oh, well, we need to go ahead and get this guy fired. And Sonny Holston over here in this reaction talking about, oh, these people need to go to jail, like all kinds of stuff. And she's so freaking happy that somebody else is going to jail besides her jailbird husband. Is really pathetic. But really quickly, before we get into that, I also want to show you guys the perpetrator himself, Jeff. He doesn't even want to release the full thread because he says it's just against his moral character. He's such a great and awesome guy. He took and exposed this and created a story, war plans, but he doesn't want to show you what the entire thread says.
Now the Secretary of Defense and the White House press secretary have said you're lying, have said there are no war plans there, have said there's no classified information. So the obvious question is, shouldn't you now demonstrate it? Shouldn't you publish the text?
No, because they're wrong. They're wrong.
But how can you prove that you're wrong? Maybe should you provide them to the House and Senate Special Committees on Intelligence? Maybe. I don't know.
Wow. Well, you want to become my lawyer?
I'm throwing this out there, Jeff. I don't know. I mean, look, the White House press secretary an hour ago said
I feel like no. I mean, I obviously, let me just put it this way: my colleagues and I, and the advice that and the people who are giving us advice on this have some interesting conversations to have about this.
Yeah.
But just because they're irresponsible with material doesn't mean that I'm going to be irresponsible with this material. And you know what? I could, whatever. I mean, you've had a long history, as I have, with dealing with them, and at moments like this, when they're under pressure because they've been caught with their hand in the cookie jar or whatever, they will just literally say anything to get out of the moment, to get out of the jam, and that's okay. I get it. I get the defensive reaction, and but here's the thing: my obligation, I feel, is to the idea that we take national security information seriously. And maybe maybe in the coming days, I'll be able to let you know that, okay, I have a.
Can you shut the f up?
This guy has got to be one of the biggest frauds. And I'm so tired of the fraudulent nature. Let's not forget, Donald Trump is in office. Obviously, this is not going to take him down, even if some kind of way it were to really screw up Walz in his position, or Hegseth, which it doesn't appear that either is going to happen. What is it really going to do to Trump? Is it going to be this amazingly damaging thing to his reputation because somebody was added to a thread that they didn't need to be added to? Guys, give me a freaking break. But without further ado, I want to go ahead and react to the cackling hens having the time of their life because they feel like Trump made a mistake. Ha ha ha. They're basically pointing and laughing at this and trying to find so much joy and happiness because they're such miserable human beings.
Today, news broke that top administration officials used a group text chain to discuss secret war plans in Yemen.
And look how happy, you see what I'm saying? Look how happy she looks.
Involved. Take a look.
I'm added to a group of seemingly very, very high national security officials of the United States. I think that this is a spoof. I had actually mistakenly been included in a conversation of the principals.
Now let's say, okay, and yeah, I will be having to interrupt this video, guys, so apologies in advance. Let's say what he just said, take what he just said at face value. He was accidentally included. How the hell does this compare to having a private email server that you have no business having? It makes no sense for you to have this email server. Signal's used by everybody. Private email servers aren't. How is this comparable? It doesn't make any sense, guys.
Essentially,
somebody explain it in the comments, please.
So-called journalist who's made a profession of peddling hoaxes time and time again. Nobody was texting war plans.
It was a minute-by-minute accounting of what was about to happen.
And so, question, has anybody seen that? Because all the threads that I've seen, all the screenshots, I didn't see any minute-by-minute details on what was about to happen. Have you? Please, let me know.
You mean like a plan?
Apparently, lots of Republicans are downplaying this, and they accused Hillary Clinton of a security breach. Take a look.
You most certainly know you shouldn't be talking about it or passing it on in an emails. It's complete recklessness and incompetence.
There was no encryption on her emails. Let's keep going.
Have gone to jail for 1/100th of what, even 1/1000th of what Hillary Clinton did.
No one will be above the law.
Y'all know that Hillary Clinton sent over 60,000 emails on her private email server, unencrypted? Whereas with Signal, this was one thread where one guy just happened to be included on it. Encrypted messages, by the way. Let's keep going.
What should happen here? Should we be saying lock them up? How does it...
They may have violated several provisions of the Espionage Act, which governs the handling of national defense information, and more importantly, laws related to classified information. A security breach this significant requires a thorough investigation. People can go to jail for... And so what happened here, apparently, in my view, ran afoul of both laws that require the retention of records.
Well, if you remember on January 6th, there was a lot of records that disappeared, including Secret Service records. But I didn't hear Sonny say people should go to jail for that. And they clearly deleted that evidence.
Something like this. There are several consequences.
And this nutcase is talking about people going to jail. Imagine you accidentally add somebody to an email thread and it's not like Putin or something. It's just some journalist. They see something and you go to jail. Like, that would be crazy. This person is definitely a crazy, unhinged liberal for even suggesting something so stupid.
Nothing to see here. It probably didn't even happen. What I will say is just 2 hours after Goldberg received the details of the attack on March 15th, the U.S. began launching a series of airstrikes against targets in Yemen. The reporter, although having the receipts, didn't even write the details down in the Atlantic, which means he handled the national security.
Well, then, I mean, how do we even know what he's saying is true if we haven't seen what he's saying? Do you guys realize how stupid this sounds?
Security information more appropriately than the people that are tasked with this, information.
That's my cousin.
An encrypted messaging app is not secure. It is not where you can legally share classified information. And by the way,
that doesn't make any sense. I understand you can say that it's not secure in that somebody technically could hack it, but to imply that the government or even the military never uses cell phones, that they never use apps that have information on them, that's just stupid. Of course they do. We live in the year 2025. They probably use every damn thing, including all kinds of stuff that they're really not supposed to use that you guys don't even know about. Signal is the least of your worries. Trust me on that.
don't name it what you're doing. They called it the Houthi PC small group. That'd be like if they put on Obama's calendar, like Osama bin Laden raid at 12 o'clock.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
And Tulsi Gabbard wrote or tweeted, any unauthorized release of classified information is a violation of the law and will be treated as such. But I was just watching her in a CNN hearing.
Yeah, that's because she said that people were releasing classified information on purpose, you dodo brain, not adding a person to a thread on accident.
But do I think anything will happen as a result? I don't. Because we have watched the way Donald Trump handles classified information for years. For an administration that rode on the message of national intelligence, it is also rich that we are watching this play out, and I don't think anything's going to happen.
Well, I will say
Man, guys, what the hell do you think is going to happen? You think they should do what Sonny suggested? Just start locking people up? Like, you added the wrong person to a thread. Imagine living in Sonny's world. That sounds like a dark world. Not everybody's going to join your husband in prison, Sonny. I'm sorry.
Yes. I want people to stop pretending. When you see it, you've got the information they are giving it. Stop saying it didn't happen, because we're not dumb.
Okay, I think that's about as much as I could take. Whoopi Goldberg just says we're not dumb, and they don't even have the text messages, the literal smoking gun that they need. They don't have. This guy released some other information as evidence that he was on the thread, so we know that's the case. But in regard to what actually the details were, nobody knows, because this person has not released it. So what do you mean we're not dumb? You're literally going off of hearsay and the fact that the guy was on a thread. You don't know the details of anything. You're just basically letting him fill in the blank and just automatically believing him over the words of people like Tulsi Gabbard and Hegzed and so forth. So guys, this doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, and it's sad and pathetic that these people are effectively celebrating something that inevitably is a failure. It should not have happened, but they're happy as can be about it just because they get to own Donald Trump and Republicans, which really isn't an own at all, because nothing's going to happen. Walz is not getting fired. Hegzed is not getting fired. And Trump, obviously nothing's going to happen to him. Nobody's getting prosecuted. There's probably not even going to be any disciplinary actions. At most, they're going to go to these stupid hearings, get investigated, and that's all that's going to happen. And Trump might even go as far as to give some pardons before he leaves office, because he knows how crazy and radical the Democrats are. So what do you think you're going to do if Sleepy Joe Biden pardoned his son, which they defended, by the way, and his whole family, and the January 6th committee, people who allegedly didn't do anything wrong? Then what do you mean, following the law and following procedure and people should go to jail? Nobody's going to jail. Nobody really did anything wrong. This was an accident. This wasn't like that big of a freaking deal. They didn't send the damn messages to the Houthis, right? They sent it to some woke journalist. And at the end of the day, the operation was successful. So you really didn't have any catastrophe like with the disastrous Afghanistan withdrawal, which they never scrutinized Joe Biden for. I never heard them scrutinize him once, unless your name was Alyssa Farah of The View, who didn't even scrutinize him that much. So this was just them, again, celebrating because they're so desperate and hungry for a win for their party that they effectively chose party over country. Nothing happened. They're going to keep using, I guarantee you, they're going to keep using Signal. They're just going to say, hey, don't let it happen again. And that's it. So it's hilarious that they're so happy about this. Imagine being so desperate for a win that this is the best that you got. This is the best that you got. You sent information to the wrong place. Like, that's all you got. Guys, it's really starting to just feel like almost you feel sorry for them. If they weren't such a-holes and such garbage and such trash and so stupid and such propaganda, you'd almost feel sorry for how desperate they are to secure a win. But I don't think that this is nearly the win that they think it is, because at the end of the day, not a single person is going to be punished or reprimanded or anything. As an outcome of this, it's just going to be something that they get 2 minutes to feel some sense of joy about before the reality kicks in that Donald Trump is still the president. All the people that you hate are still in place, and we're still going to make America great again, whether your dumbass likes it or not. These are just my thoughts, guys. Let me know what you guys think. Drop a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. I appreciate y'all watching the Black Anomaly Rising channel. I'm out.
Mr. President, you said that your national security advisor learned a lesson after a reporter.
Excuse me, I didn't thank you. Go ahead, please.
Mr. President, the ceasefire